Giving love, receiving inner peace. We often think that love is something we give to others. But as we grow, we begin to understand. Every time we love someone sincerely, we are also healing ourselves. Because no one can give what they don't already have. No one can truly be gentle with the world if their heart is filled with resentment. So, a loving person is not someone with a weak heart, but one who has overcome inner storms, and can now stand calmly in the midst of life with a gentle smile. Cherry Blossom 1. Love is never lost when it flows from a peaceful heart. You may offer a kind word and receive no reply. You may help someone and be misunderstood. You may show compassion to someone who once hurt you, and you may receive nothing back from them. But you always receive something greater from within. You receive stillness. You receive the quiet sense that I was true to myself. You sleep peacefully, without regret or the need to explain. You rest easy, knowing you chose love over pain. Because in the end, the one who needs your love most is you. Each time you choose to love instead of wound. Herb 2. Not everyone will return your kindness, but kindness never goes astray. When you plant a seed of goodness, you may not know when or where it will bloom, or if anyone will ever see it. But you know this for certain. The seed is never wasted. You may not reap gratitude from the one you helped, but you might receive unexpected grace from a stranger. Your words may go unappreciated, but they spared you from regret. Your actions may go unnoticed, but you, the one who chose love, will always remember that moment when you could have turned away, but didn't. Blossom 3. A peaceful heart doesn't come from outer quiet, but from inner goodness. You won't feel calm if you always expect thanks. You won't feel light if you wait for others to be kind in return. You'll never be gentle if you're still longing for approval. Peace only comes when you stop doing good to get something, and simply do it because it's who you are. A kind person is not afraid of punishment, but grateful for life. One who gives not for reward, but because their heart is no longer calculating. One who forgives not out of weakness, but because they know. Holding on to anger is like burning yourself slowly from within. Rice Plant 4. Love is the shortest path back to your truest self. Scripture says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 4. And in the words of the Buddha, there is no fire like hatred, no calamity like a mind without compassion. No matter your path, dharma or faith, one truth remains. Love is the way to purify the heart. When your heart is bright, you don't need anyone to teach you how to live beautifully. Because you've seen, when you are gentle, the world softens. When you are at peace, everything around you seems less frightening. When you let go of resentment, even those who once hurt you begin to fade into your forgiveness. Hibiscus 5. And then you realize, what you gain isn't thanks, but a lighter life. No one owes you anything because you've been good. No one must return your kindness. And no one can take away the peace you've built, unless you hand it over. When you live for what's good, you stop chasing victories. You stop living in fear. You no longer need to prove anything. Because you've become a living testament. To give without expecting is the most beautiful way to live. To give love is to receive a soul that is steady and free. 6. When you offer love, you're planting seeds of peace in the soil of cause and effect. Every kind thought, every kind act, every gentle word is a seed. Some seeds sprout in days. Some lie dormant deep beneath the soil. Some seem forgotten, yet bloom in the most unexpected places. Those who live with compassion do not ask, "When will I be repaid?" They simply trust, "The way I live will return to me, in one form or another." Peace is the fruit of a life without resentment. A light heart is the result of a soul free from anger. A steady spirit is the outcome of years spent quietly sowing love, without seeking recognition. Herb 7. Some love doesn't need to be spoken, just kept in the heart like a candle. Not all love needs to be loudly declared. Not every good deed needs to be acknowledged. Some people care for others in silence, for a lifetime, without ever asking for thanks. Because they know, love is not for proving, but for living in alignment with their truest self. They choose to yield, not out of weakness, but because they're strong enough not to need victory. They choose silence, not because they're powerless, but because their heart is still enough to not need to argue. Cherry Blossom 8. Those who know how to love don't chase outcomes, they walk with depth. In a fast-paced world, people often ask, "What do I get for doing good? Why be kind when others hurt me? Is it worth being gentle if no one remembers?" But those who truly love don't live by outcomes. They live by depth, because they know every act of goodness from the heart never disappears into nothing. You may not always taste the fruit, but each day, your heart will grow softer, steadier, and more whole. Blossom 9. Not everyone deserves your kindness, but you always deserve your peace. They may not appreciate you. They may betray your trust. They may make you regret your kindness. But in time, you'll realize, they don't need to deserve your kindness. You deserve the peace it brings. Anger, blame, revenge might satisfy you in the moment, but in the long run, only love can offer true lightness and lasting peace. Crescent Moon 10. One day you'll see, living kindly is its own reward. You don't need anyone to validate your kindness. You don't need everyone to understand what you've done. You don't even need to hold on to those who failed to appreciate you. Because you've chosen to live kindly, for yourself. Not to be loved, but so your heart won't carry regret. Not for reward, but so you can sleep peacefully and walk lightly through each day. Sparkles, you give love, you choose forgiveness, you live gently, not because the world always deserves it, but because you want to become someone you can be proud of. And when you love yourself in that way, peace arrives, not because you chased it, but because it's always been there, in a heart that knows how to love itself, others, and life itself. 11. Those who truly love don't need to be seen, because they've already seen their own heart. There are things you do out of love, and no one notices. There are times you choose patience, and no one understands. There are wounds you've healed on your own, with no one to comfort you. And yet, you keep living, without bitterness. Because you know clearly what you chose. And why. You don't need applause. You don't need to be praised for being kind. Because you are already at peace, knowing you've given from a place of true sincerity. Cherry Blossom 12. Love is not about holding on, It's about letting things be what they truly are. You love someone. You care for them. You wish they'd understand. But real love is not about keeping them by your side at all costs. Real love is letting them be who they are, and staying at peace even if you're no longer part of their journey. Not because you no longer care, but because you no longer need something outside yourself to define your worth. You're calm enough to let go, because you know, whatever comes from a loving heart will never leave you empty-handed. Herb 13. When you live with kindness, the universe will be kind in its own way. You help one person, but receive grace from another. You speak kind words to someone, and find healing through a stranger. That's how the universe works. That's karma, not mathematics, but the sacred intelligence of life. No good seed goes unrewarded forever. Sometimes your harvest just hasn't arrived yet. Or perhaps you're being given something far greater than what you once asked for. Cherry Blossom 14. When you offer gentleness, you build a shelter for your own soul. The more bitter a person is, the more wounds they carry. The gentler one becomes, the more peace they find within. Their heart becomes their safe place. You don't need to try hard to be good. Just lessen your anger, increase your understanding, speak one less harsh word, give one more forgiving gaze, and suddenly, your heart becomes a refuge, not just for others, but for yourself whenever life gets stormy. Rice Plant 15. No one who lives with grace is without wounds. They just choose not to let pain harden them. Kindness doesn't mean life has been easy. Forgiveness doesn't mean everyone deserves it. Love doesn't mean you've never been betrayed. It means you understand. If you let pain change who you are, then pain has won. And you won't let that happen. You choose to keep a tender heart, though the world feels harsh. You choose calmness, though others may shout. You choose to live kindly, not for them, but for yourself. Herb 16. There is a kind of wealth in not needing anything from others, yet still feeling full. When you no longer need people to understand, to love, or to return your care, you've found a deep kind of freedom. No more craving means you've let go of expectations. No more dependence means your soul is grounded. No need for return means you're flowing in the stream of giving. Those who give unconditionally are the richest of all. In the quietest way. Hibiscus 17. You'll never feel truly empty when you realize that nothing given in love is ever wasted. No one can take away what you've given from love. You lose nothing by forgiving. You lose nothing by listening. You lose nothing by refusing to argue. You are growing stronger because you've chosen a conscious heart over a prideful ego. Crescent Moon 18. One who gives kindness is planting light into the world. This world has no shortage of darkness. But one kind word, one sincere gesture, one quiet refusal to retaliate, is a flame in the night. It may not light up the whole world, but it's enough to keep you from getting lost. And if each of us lights one candle, the darkness will begin to fade. Crescent Moon 19. Sometimes, the love you give today saves someone's life in ways you'll never know. A simple message you send may pull someone back from the edge. One gentle glance, one kind word without judgment, might help someone make it through just one more day. You don't need to know the full value of what you've done. You just need to trust. Nothing done in true love is ever meaningless. Blossom 20. And in the end, what you receive is not applause, but a soul so steady it needs no decoration. You'll stop hoping for gratitude. Stop holding onto those who turned away. Stop feeling regret for kindness that wasn't returned. Because your heart now stands like a mountain, unaffected by passing winds, unshaken by who stays or leaves. You understand now. To give love is not to be remembered, but to live in the purest peace. In a heart that knows how to love, without attachment. Sparkles, you don't need to do something extraordinary to live beautifully. Just choose, every day, to love others. And love yourself a little more. That is enough. And your heart, like a still lake, will reflect the whole sky. In the end, you'll see this clearly. The greatest thing you receive is not someone's gratitude, not a hug, a thank you, or look of understanding, but a soul that has grown quiet, deep, and steady. A soul that no longer needs the world to be gentle in order to respond with gentleness. Peace doesn't come from being loved perfectly by someone. It comes when you have loved enough. Enough to no longer need anything in return. You've given the best of your heart, and that is already enough. You lose nothing by living with kindness. You only shed another layer of ego. You lose nothing by forgiving. You simply open a new door, so you can walk forward, free from resentment. Keep living gently. Keep loving. Keep doing good, even if only you know. Because no act of goodness is ever wasted. No love given from the heart ever gets lost. And no true peace comes from out there, if it hasn't already begun within you. Cherry blossom every time you offer kindness. You are softening the whole world. Every time you choose love over judgment, you open a door of peace inside yourself. And every time you live with beauty, even if unnoticed, your life is already blooming, quietly, but profoundly. Headphone, if these words touched your heart, right finger, consider subscribing to the channel, so we can keep walking this journey together of awakening, healing, and living more deeply each day. Because in a world that often feels turbulent, just one person choosing love at the right moment can be enough to calm an entire storm.